Today we're gonna try and bake an invention. Let's see how that goes. And welcome back to Unnecessary Inventions. So today we're gonna try something a little bit new, and clearly we are not in the regular studio. Today, we're trying out the kitchen. I thought things were getting a little bit too easy in the studio using all of the technology that I'm used to, so I decided it's time to step it up a notch and really challenge myself to something I probably am going to mess up even more than I do before. And if you're wondering what that looks like, well, it's baking, and let's get into the details. So just this past week, I came across this meme of some bread gloves, and it gave me the idea that I wanted to bake some sort of invention. And when I looked into how you made bread, I realized I was way over my pay grade, and so I decided to switch to baking cookies. And we're not going to be making just any cookie. We are going to be making a full life-size mitten. Well, at least we're gonna try to make a full life-size mitten made out of cookies. That's basically gonna go all the way down your hand, and you can dip it in something like frosting, bite it off your hand, maybe let your friends eat your glove off you too. And that's pretty much just the basis of my idea, but I think it's going to be unnecessarily amazing. However, I am making the executive decision right now that I am not baking these cookies from scratch. I'm not going through the whole rigmarole of getting all the ingredients, putting it together, and messing something up, not measuring something correctly. So I'm gonna go to the store and buy those pre-made cookie batter things, roll it out, put my hand on it, trace it out, and that's pretty much all I have so far. I think I'll have a better idea once I see how malleable the cookie dough is and exactly how I'm gonna make this pocket that my hand is going to actually fit into so that it fits on my hand and looks like a real mitten. So let's go get the materials and go get set up. And the materials have been acquired. So here is what I picked up at the store. I got some chocolate chunk and chip cookie batter. And so basically it's sort of already like a sheet, and my plan is that I'm gonna roll this out, and then I'm gonna use my hand as a guide and cut around it and hopefully get that mitten shape that I'm looking for. I picked up a few extras just in case I mess up. So the plan that I came up with for creating these cookie mittens is that I'm going to cut 2 different mittens for each hand, and then I'll have those 2 bases, and then I'm gonna create another border. So it's gonna be mitten, border, mitten, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to fit my hand inside of there. And then we're going to use this frosting as sort of the paste in between the layers to keep it all together. I am really stretching here because I have no idea if this is capable or doable at all. Each pack is supposed to be able to make 24 cookies, which kind of seems like a lot to me, so I think we're going to have plenty of cookie dough. Within the pack, they're already cut into these individual cookie squares that you're supposed to just peel off, and I'm hoping that I can just use this and flatten it all out, and they'll sort of all just mash together into one giant cookie sheet. Oh, we gotta preheat the oven. Let's see how well this flattens. Not at all. Uh-oh. Okay, we got a bit of a problem here. I wonder if I should put it right onto the cookie pan, because this is not gonna work. Okay, welcome to Unnecessary Inventions, I guess. I'm just gonna glob this all up. So I'm thinking I can be kind of rough on the shape, and then I'll cut the final piece when I have everything together so that it has a nice even edge. If I don't eat all of this batter before I get there. This stuff really does not like to roll out. Maybe I should just do the opposite. Maybe just cook one giant cookie and then cut it out later after it's cooled down. Don't you just love ideas on paper and then they just don't work at all? Okay, the roller doesn't work. This is gonna be a lot of cookies when it's done. So we have a cookie that will be large enough for my hand, and I think that might work. So let's put this thing in the oven for 10 to 14 minutes and see exactly what we're working with, because we are changing plans on the fly, because I sort of have to. So the first batch is officially in the oven, and I think I should wait for that to come out, see how it all looks before I get going on another one. I thought I could use my time better by getting another one set up, but I think that would not be a good idea. So let's wait for that to come out, see if I can cut it up, and then we'll move on from there. And we have ourselves a giant cookie. It's actually not looking too bad. However, I think I'm gonna need to let this thing cool quite a bit before I go ahead and cut it up. So let's put this down. We definitely have enough space. I did throw together another one of these. It's looking pretty good on size. So let's get this guy into the oven while this one cools down. So I have the second massive cookie almost ready to come out of the oven. And there is the behemoth. So now we have two cookies that are the size of my hand, and I think I do have something here. I do think that I need to let them cool pretty well before I'm able to cut them. I think I'm just gonna get a much better exact cut of my hand in the mitten shape that we want. The last thing we need to do is the border, and I'm not quite sure what I want to do for that yet, because I'm not gonna need all of that cookie dough in the middle. So I think I am just going to do a rough shape of what I think it looks like, or should I wait until I've cut it and then I'll have a better idea of the shape? That doesn't sound like fun. Let's do that. I just realized that I'm already almost done with the third pack, and that's gonna be what, 20, 40, 60, 80, it's gonna be over 100 cookies worth of cookies in this one stupid glove. I thought I was gonna have way more than I needed, and I was way wrong. And I think this one is gonna take a little bit longer to cook because I'm gonna make it kinda chunky because I wanna have a pretty decent border, so I'm gonna have to be able to fit my hand in between there. This better work because I'm out of cookie dough after this. I am doing this far too often. Summer's over. I don't need a summer bod anymore. How did I go through all of that cookie dough already? So here's what we're working with on the third cookie dough. So basically, I think that should be good for my hand for the border. And we're just gonna sort of cut it up, get the thumb in there, and hopefully stack all three of these things together using a little bit of icing in between as glue. All right, let's put this in the oven. All right, let's see that when it comes out. Well, that didn't necessarily go as planned. It did not really stay in that shape that I was hoping it was going to. I think my best plan of attack is going to be to let these things cool down like a lot. I think the colder that they are, I think it's gonna be easier to cut them, it's gonna be easier to stack them, and all that stuff. So I think I'm gonna let these things really cool down, give them their time, and then we'll start tracing out the mitten and stacking them together and hoping that it comes together. See you in a few. Well, and good morning. I decided to let these sit in the refrigerator overnight because I think if they're a little bit harder, we might have a better chance of getting a good cut and getting this project all finished semi-successfully. So we have 1, 2, 3 cookies all finished up, and so now we need to go ahead and cut the handprint out of it and then try and stack them and get them to stay all together and get my hand in there so I can snack down on some delicious cookies. So let me first do a quick test on how this cuts. Okay, I think it's cutting pretty good. I might need to put them back into the fridge or maybe even the freezer just so that they really hold their shape because it's kind of falling apart right now. Wait, taste test. Not bad. So I'm just gonna put my hand down and try and cut a general shape around my hand. I need enough space at the bottom that I'm gonna be able to get this part of my hand through the initial cuff without breaking the cookie. So that part, I think I'm gonna go a little bit wide. Once I have this section, I think I'm gonna use it as a template for the next one so that they match up relatively well. And what do you know, we've got ourselves a mitten, kind of. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so let's scoop this guy up and put it over the other one. Oh yeah, these are gonna have to go back in the fridge. Things are not going as planned. The cookies are crumbling, as they say somewhere, I'm sure. We have the first mitten that is falling apart. So I cut another one and I have it in the freezer. I'm hoping that if I just completely solidify it, it will stay together long enough to get my hand in and get the product photos. So let's cut a second one and hope this video is not a complete wash. Whew. Okay, that was kind of like Russian roulette. I still have my hand intact, so that's the good part. So I think for the outer border, we're gonna have to just do it in small pieces and chunks. Okay, this one's a little more frozen, and it's staying together much better, so we might be in luck. Let's put this one in the freezer and give them a little bit of time to harden up. We might be able to salvage this project. So those have been in the freezer for a little bit, hardening up. And then I have the pieces that we're gonna use for the border. And then I have this lovely icing, and it's what I'm gonna use as the glue to hopefully put everything together. I'm gonna flip this guy over. Look at that, we got a mitten.
This project is a mess.
And I'm basically just gonna line the edges. I think my hand is gonna fit, maybe. We'll find out. Okay, then I'm gonna put a layer of icing down. Put this guy on the edge. So this one cookie that fell apart earlier, I think it's because I didn't cook it enough, but now it is coming in handy because the inside is kind of malleable, so I'm able to like bend it around the curves, and it's working a little bit more in my favor. Let me grab my phone and I will give you a second look on what we got going on down here. So here we have the mitten with the border going on, and then we're gonna put the second cookie layer on top, and hopefully that works out well. Let's do it. Has anyone ever seen that show Nailed It on Netflix? It's basically what I'm trying to do now. People who have no idea how to bake, trying to bake something way too elaborate. So I'm gonna throw this guy in the freezer, hope it freezes, and get my hand in there. Maybe do the product photos first before I come back, because I think it's going to be kind of fragile, and we're gonna have to work with what we got to somehow bring this all together. We're doing a photo shoot here. Okay, I am working on the photo shoot right now. Things are going okay, it's holding together, and I think we should be doing pretty well. This is the second shot that I'm doing. I think I'm gonna wrap them all up, and then I'll give you a look at what I have done with this masterpiece. Let's do it. So here is where we are at. I had Matt004 wear this perfect Cookie Monster shirt for the photo shoot, and the cookie glove did not quite survive the photo shoot. So this thing worked way better when it was frozen. It actually held its form, I was able to get my hand inside, and all that stuff worked. But once it started warming up, it started bending and flexing, and that is where I got all of these breaks. However, we were able to get some wonderful product photo shots. So I'll give you a look at what the official photos for the cookie mittens are. If you want to get a better look at the product photos and this in action a little bit more, head on over to my Instagram page, and that is where I post all of the product photos, where you can see them in all HD quality, all that stuff, zoom in and see how it looks. This invention was definitely an experiment that came out as, how else would I expect them to come out? It works. We're saying that it works. So the official rating on this invention is 10 Cookie Monsters out of 10. If you loved watching me try to bake this monstrosity, give this video a thumbs up if you will. And don't forget, if you want to see more completely unnecessary inventions,
go ahead and smash the subscribe button.
I think that is all we are going to do for today, even though it's like 10 a.m. and I'm on a complete sugar high. I will see you at the next invention. See ya!